Welcome back to Snetterton for the second race in the SSD round for the British Sidecar Championship here on this fabulous circuit. All 13 outfits after yesterday's debacle where we had half the field retire, and it was not for one reason or another. It was purely due to clutch failure because we had an abortive start, so therefore these outfits did 2 warm-up laps, they did 2 starts, the clutches did not stand it. It was immensely hot and half of the field cooked their clutches. It was as simple as that, and I didn't realise that. That included Lewis Blackstock, the pole position man, and Ben Birchall. They were the front row. They were both victims of the clutch problem, but by virtue of Lewis Blackstock's pole position and a rule which allows him to drop only 6 places, he will start 7th on the grid. But there, the overall standings for the British Sidecars: Luke Williams, Kevin Kolsch, a 15-point lead over Lewis Blackstock and Oscar Lawrence, who've got a bit of work to do. The Laidlow brothers are in there just 1 point behind. Fastest of the Cup class, Phil Bell, Phil Hyde, Holden Napton. That was a battle yesterday we saw. They were the filling in the Cup sandwich between Bell and Kirby. Atkinson, Middleton, broken gear lever yesterday, took them out. Birchall and Rosny will be starting from the back on the Honda, and we can expect big things provided they get no trouble, Jed Brady.
I am very excited for this one, Barry. I think we've got our fast guys split out. Like you say, we've got Williams and Kolsch on the front row there. Sam and Jack Laidlow, they take up 2nd place on that front row due to their lap times yesterday. Biggs and Muldoon, fantastic result for them yesterday. They're 3rd. Holden and Napton 4th. One to keep an eye on there, looking to progress. Kirby and Salmon, they lead the Cup charge in 5th, with Atkinson and Middleton starting 6th. 7th, we will have Lewis Blackstock and Oscar Lawrence. They are definitely going to be ones to watch. Phil Bell and Phil Hyde start alongside. Peach and Hope in 9th. Pottinger and Dodd, solid result for them yesterday. Moss and Hawkswell. Eddie Wakely and Anthony Hilditch start 12th. And Ben Birchall and Paddy Rosny at the back. 100% keep your eye on that beautifully liveried number 16 outfit.
That's going to be interesting coming from the back, and they're alongside Eddie Wakely and young Anthony Hilditch, who were more clutch victims as well. So it didn't matter what level of speed you were at yesterday, it simply didn't make it. You think this is a 600cc Yamaha predominantly powered machine, 2 people on it, a massive rear slick, you dial it up to 5,000 or 6,000 revs, dump the clutch, that's a lot of punishment, and they can only take it for a maximum number of 2 starts. Now watch the red flag, then the lights will come in, and pole position man Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch, 91. He was the only man in the 159s in the race yesterday. But having said that, Lewis Blackstock did it in qualifying to claim the pole position. So the lights in at the top. They will go red. And they will go off, and away goes the 91 of Luke Williams there on the grass, 1 wheel on the grass. Birchall coming from the very back, he's going to weave his way through, and that's exactly what he's doing. Laidlow with Williams, with Rob Biggs, a good start, with Frankie Muldoon in there again. Paul Kirby got a flyer. Paul Kirby, number 27, in the black and yellow outfit. Up the inside goes Lewis Blackstock, 95. Lewis Blackstock, Oscar Lawrence from 7th position on the grid. They've got a 15-point deficit now on the championship leaders, Luke Williams, who are out in front in this race. I think, Jed, we are going to have a battle royal this time. The sun is shining, the crowd's on the embankment. There goes Birchall, already past Phil Bell. He's on a charge.
He is up to 6th already, round the outside of Phil Bell. Very, very smooth move round the outside of Palmer's there at turn 3. Not easy to do, but that is the quality of the man and the passenger there, capable of doing that.
Luke Williams, Oscar Lawrence, Sam and Jack Laidlow, and there Kirby having a really, really good. Blackstock coming through as well. Biggsy going well. Biggsy then with Frankie Muldoon, the first podium for that young man, and the first podium for Rob Biggs for a long time. And there they are, they're at the back of that bunch, chasing bunch. Laidlow's going through. Blackstock already past Biggs on his way up. So Blackstock into 3rd place now. And that is the race leader. Luke Williams, Kevin Kolsch, sidecar wheel, pattering over the grass as they come down the matter. Oh, that's Birchall. That's Birchall. Oh, goodness me. Phil Napton over the front.
Goodness me, how did he hold on to that?
Well, he did. That's the important thing. Thank goodness for that. That was dramatic stuff. Birchall and John Holden are coming together, going into 2 into 1, don't go. Let's take a look at this. There's Luke Williams.
In the background, keep an eye.
It's in the background. Here it goes. Oh, that's Birchall, just went in too hard there. Too hard, whack. Oh, just couldn't get it stopped. Could not get it stopped. That's what it appears like.
Slightly different angle of it. Phil Knapton, I'll say this now, he is a very lucky man not to have a broken arm there. How on earth is he held onto that bike? His arm is bent behind him. That is... Oh, it's a bit of a mistake from Birchall there.
Oh, dear me. Over-exuberance. What a disastrous start for Ben Birchall. Ben Birchall and Paddy Rosney then. So the 95, Lewis Blackstock, Oscar Lawrence, really now on the back of the Laidlows. There, Paul Kirby. Paul Kirby escaped that melee as well. That was all going on, and they were all sort of in the mix. That potentially was really, really dodgy. So Holden and Knapton, I mean, he was hanging on over the front of the outfit, staying. Now that is passenger experience, tenacity and guts.
And a heck of a lot of luck, I'll say that now, but remarkably somehow that number 2 outfit of Holden and Knapton, they have come round to finish the lap and carried on their way. Oh, it's sensational stuff, incredible from those pair.
Well, they deserve a medal for that. Lewis Blackstock, Oscar Lawrence now in 3rd on the back of Sam and Jack Laidlow. The number 84 crew, the blue outfit, and Biggsy's still very much in the hunt. Number 5, Rob Biggs. He's rejuvenated. He's found a passenger who not only can... Here goes Blackstock. Blackstock on the inside of Laidlow. He's got work to do. He knows the target at the front of the race is his. He's got to get up there. Let's have a look at the times. Williams then, fastest sector time in this. But, well, we've only got 1 full lap completed yet. So we've got to see what Blackstock is doing here. He's got Laidlow in front. Oh, this is deja vu Donington. We're back in great racing at the front again. It is. But Williams is out in the front.
He's even on the first 2 sectors there as he's coming up across the line now. He's pulled out a 2nd over Blackstock and Lawrence just in the first 2 sectors alone, like I say, in a 59.4. Picked up from where he left off yesterday of Luke Williams and Kevin Colsh on that number 91 outfit leading the way.
Here we go then, into Richards, Lewis Blackstock, Oscar Lawrence take the place from Sam and Jack Laidlow beautifully. Now they've got the 91 outfit in sight. Now we're going to see what they can do with clear tarmac, a 59.499 from Luke Williams that time. So back, well, he's not quite on his pole position time, but he's certainly up there with his race winning time of yesterday. Blackstock then, I spoke to him in the paddock earlier this morning, had that long walk up in the direction of Norwich. I always thought I was walking to Norwich. It's such a long way to the sidecar paddock. But he said, look, I relish a challenge. I've got a bit of work to do. I'm 15 points behind. Nobody likes to win a championship easily, so we've got a long way to go. And indeed, this is only race 4 in a 14-race championship.
It is indeed. We've got a long way to go, and Blackstock and Lawrence are taking up the challenge. Fastest first sector of the race has gone to them. They are on the hunt after Williams and Colsh out front. Laidlow's there in 3rd place on screen now currently. Not a lot they've seemingly got in the tank to provide an answer to go with Blackstock and Lawrence.
Well, Blackstock has had his hands on this trophy so many times, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And he won't mind me calling him that. He doesn't wear a dress, not even on a Saturday night. But he's out here and going very, very well indeed. The Laidlow brothers, they're doing, in my opinion, they're doing the right thing, coming back to this British Championship, having ventured abroad, doing the world. It's a bit of a different deal out there. It's not only expensive, there's all the travelling involved. You're mixing it at the highest level. Sure, they need experience, but there's plenty of experience here in this British Championship.
Absolutely. We saw it at Donington, Barry, like you say. We had some fantastic talent. We had the Christie brothers, multiple-time race winners in the Grand Prix scene. Runners-up in the World Championship, I believe, as well. We had Pavarenta, a 4-time world champion with us as well.
5.
The 5-time world champion. Apologies to Pekka. But the quality in this championship is second to none, arguably.
Yeah, it is. And here is a star of the future. And has been through a pretty torrid time, actually. Crashed heavily in testing. 158. Blackstock is in the 58s. Now, the lap record here, 156.894, held by Ben Birchall, who is now out of this race and will, I would imagine, be feeling a little bit sheepish. That was a racing incident.
Yes, he will feel bad about that, will Ben. Obviously not his intention at all to come together with John. So he will feel very, very down about that, one imagines.
Both TT stalwarts, of course, Ben with multiple TT titles to his name, and John Holden as well, something of a veteran, but what an enthusiastic campaigner. Luke Williams then, Kevin Kolsch, victory yesterday on lap 4 of 10, so a long way to go. It's not as hot as it was yesterday, but here comes the 95. Blackstock is closing. The gap over the line last time was 4.1 seconds, and his sector times are just ramping up. He is on a charge here, and Luke Williams is going to have that 95 black missile for company very soon. But meanwhile, Luke, you enjoy it out front.
Absolutely. Luke is going to have to play this by the pit board. Blackstock and Lawrence, they're not taking masses out of that leading duo there. But a tenth here, quarter of a second there in the first couple of sectors. The gap only 4.1 seconds, like you say, Barry, last time across.
What is it now? 3.3, so it's almost a second a lap. That's an amazing, amazing move by Blackstock and Oscar Lawrence. They have gelled so well together.
Incredible. They look like they've been riding together their entire careers. They've just absolutely, you know, crossed the fingers, knitted the fingers together, and they are an incredible duo.
Well, Oscar Lawrence, of course, cut his teeth with George Holden, John Holden's son, who's now focusing his attentions on F2, and you know, his loss, if you like, is Lewis Blackstock's gain. His passenger, Paddy Rosney, having changed sidecars to move across to passenger Ben Birchall, which will provide some entertainment for him, as you've just seen. But Lewis Blackstock then, and Oscar Lawrence just keeping that sidecar, the work of the sidecar passenger, getting the drive down. That big fat Hoosier, the tarmac, the track temperature still nice and warm and sticky here, so the big Hoosier will be driving hard. The objective of the passengers to keep that down on the right-handers, keep the sidecar down on left-handers, whilst giving still maximum drive. So it's a delicate balancing act. You've been there many times.
Many times. It's you really have to sort of think ahead of what the driver is doing, and surprisingly, it doesn't actually take that long to gel and to understand what your driver will do, where they'll go for a pass, where they'll sit in. So you almost become two minds joining as one, and you think as one, and you have the full understanding and appreciation of what that driver is going to do.
Okay, it's Blackstock and Rosney closing. 3.3 the gap, last time 2.4, and the 58.572 lap again from Blackstock and Lawrence, so they are closing in the race leaders on lap 6 of 10, so we're over the halfway stage. Paul Kirby, this is a good ride for him as well. Emma Salmon, lady passenger. Another lady passenger in the number 38 outfit, Charlie Moss, Kirsty Hawkswell. So two ladies out there in this heat. Phil Bell then behind Kirby. So this is the battle of the Cup class. And at the moment, Phil Bell has a significant advantage of 25 points over this man, 27, Paul Kirby in the Cup class.
So, just getting up on our timing screens, Barry, the incident between John Holden and Ben Birchall at the end of the back straight on that first lap there. No further action. So that's done and dusted, and thankfully everyone seems to have got away, as far as we understand, without injury, which is a blessing, because that is a very, very fast corner into Brundle there.
Yeah, racing incident, racing accident, call it what you like, but there you go. It is racing, and with sidecars it's easier to make contact. Not that you should ever make contact, but it's easier to make contact than on the solo, because they're more durable and they're more stable. They stay planted, so you might get a bit of fairing damage and transfer. Oh, no, Blackstock. Oscar Lawrence, can you believe it? What is going on? Oscar equally frustrated. What's the matter? Blackstock and Lawrence absolutely charging. And now it's all over in race 2. So, frustration from Oscar Lawrence, frustration from Lewis Blackstock, the emotion just raging here. What can you believe it? Sam and Jack Laidlow promoted. Let's have a look, see if we can see any evidence of what might be the problem here. Race leader Luke Williams going through, and there, a wiggle, something broke loose, something happened just on the back.
Total loss of drive all of a sudden.
The back let go.
In the earphones there, I could hear revving of a bike, but no drive. I wonder if the
chain
I didn't
gone?
see the chain go, but possibly.
Well, that's the chain. Is the chain lying up the track?
Quite possibly. What a bizarre instant, though, to lose the bike in such a way and then no drive at all.
Oscar dejected beyond belief. Luke Williams then is going to extend his lead if things stay the way they are. We're on lap 7 of 10. Phil Bell still riding shotgun to Paul Kirby. Kirby then the leading Cup competitor. Everybody moves up a place with the exit of Lewis Blackstock. Kirby now 4th. He and Emma Salmon doing an absolutely brilliant job, and she's such a slight, diminutive lady, but what a job she does for him. There's a trend of female sidecar passengers throughout the history of the sport, in actual fact, and there's still 1 or 2 at world level.
Just like to give a shout out to Williams and Cole Shat in the lead. Obviously, sort of gifted a bit of relief there. But last lap round, whilst the drama with Blackstock and Lawrence was happening, they responded with a 58.244 for the fastest lap of the race. So, unfortunately, it seems like we were stolen a bit of a dramatic climax there.
Yeah, well, fastest lap of the weekend as well. You know, yesterday included. So you're quite right, and observant of you to point that out. By golly, that is disappointing. We've been cheated again. Phil Bell and Phil Hyde, vastly experienced passenger Phil Hyde. He jumps in and off solos. He does everything. John Holden looking still good and circulating. He and Phil Napton, the number 2 outfit, in the background there. And that is absolutely brilliant stuff, given the fact they were torpedoed in the fashion they were.
Incredible.
And Phil, a tough cookie, comes of course from a sidecar racing family, and so many of these sidecar teams, it's a generational thing. Once your grandfather did it, your father did it, well, there's only one way you're going to go. And We're seeing that with young Muldoon as well. And
oh, poor Oscar.
Yeah,
poor Oscar. Doesn't even know what to do with himself.
Heads down. Oscar Lawrence now was looking at not only he was eyeing up a championship early in the season, but it's not all over. There's still a long way to go. We are only 4 races in to 14. So come on, Oscar, pick yourself up. We move on from here to Knock Hill, and that is a really good track where your man goes well. So don't panic, son. Phil Bell, Phil Hyde, Privateer Championship Cup leaders. I call it Cup, Privateer, call it what you like, but the Cup denotes really a slightly heavier machine. They're not allowed to use the trick magnesium wheels, and therefore they are given a separate championship, and they're allowed to, well, they're a bit more weight. They're 15 or 20 kilos heavier.
Yes, yeah.
So they're handicapped in that respect. Paul Kirby, Emma Salmon still holding off Phil Bell and Phil Hyde, and that gap is not coming down. It's 2.3 that Phil Bell trails Kirby by.
He's doing a fantastic job there, Kirby and Salmon, just controlling the pace. And here we see rider of the afternoon for me there, Phil Napton. Fantastic. I honestly have no idea how he's even managing to do this. 9 laps around here, you know, it's 27 miles he's ridden. after that crash and that incident on the opening lap. Remarkable.
Astonishing. Up they go then. 91. Luke Williams, Kevin Kolsch. 1 lap to do once they come round this time. And then it will be a double victory, a maximum points for them.
And what a fantastic season it's been for them, Barry. Obviously, I think they were third in both races at Donington Park, but we had the wild card in there of Pep Pavarenta and Christie. They didn't score points, which meant Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch actually took the points for second place. So provided, and I do not wish to put the commentator's curse on them by any means here, if they do manage to win this, after 4 rounds, they'll have only been 10 points off a maximum points haul, which, compared to their start of the season last year for Luke Williams and Jason Pitt as it was at the time, it's night and day different.
Yeah, well, he brought a lot of talent to it. He was always talented. He was an absolute star in karting, and then took his skills to open wheel car racing, and now he's translated that from 4 wheels to 3, and he absolutely loves the sidecar outfit. So that is good news indeed. Good news for us, because we've got new talent on the scene. Over the line next time then, they will be on their final lap, and there will be 2.97 miles of the Snetterton 300 circuit for them to do. On their final lap then, Luke Williams, Kevin Kolsch, and this will be emotional as well for Tony, their father, or Luke's father. Kevin, of course, making the commuting from Germany, not just to ride with Luke. He had a little outing, I believe, with Tim Reeves last weekend at Pannonia Ring in Hungary at the World Championship.
And that was just after completing the Isle of Man TT as well. So a very busy man is Kevin Kolsch there, and what a fantastic passenger. Just watching him here is a pleasure. He just makes it look effortless. Obviously the sign of a very, very quality, high quality passenger.
Ridden with former champion Benny Stroyer as well in his time, so vastly experienced, and he's ridden with the best in the world. Here they are then on what is something like a bit of a victory lap, because the gap is 11.4 back to Sam and Jack Laidlow last time over the line. Rob Biggs and Frankie Muldoon, what can I say other than absolutely well done. If they make it home for a double podium, that will be an incredible, incredible achievement for the young passenger, cutting his teeth, learning his trade. Biggsy cannot be anything but happy. And we might even see him smile on the podium.
Quite possibly, quite possibly. It's been a very, very good weekend for Rob. He's had some hard times, as you were saying yesterday, Barry, in recent years with passenger trouble. His regular passenger ferry Seeger's had a bit of an issue, a medical issue last season, so there's still a bit up in the air as to what's going on with Ferry, but a double podium, 16 points in both races, still a relative newcomer to the sport, and Frankie Muldoon on the side. Frankie's never gone this fast, 201s, 202 lap times, very, very impressive.
Here we go then, heading for the line, Luke Williams, Kevin Kolsch, double victory here, 10 laps completed in the sunshine at Snetterton, and a magnificent victory over Sam and Jack Laidlow. Here they come then. The glory of that diminished somewhat by the early exit, sadly, of Blackstock and Lawrence, and no one will be more aware of it. But here we come then, Rob Biggs, number 5. Rob Biggs and Frankie Muldoon, the youngster, will be thrilled with this. And there, cheers, buddy, well done. Look at that. Troprian. Now Phil Bell closing on Paul Kirby. Kirby, though, has kept him at bay. This is the battle of the Cup class. And over they go. That's pulling back a little bit into Phil Bell's Cup class lead. But just rewards for a hard night's work when their bike caught fire after qualifying, or during qualifying in actual fact, on Friday. So they worked most of Friday evening, all of Saturday, to get it ready to race. And it's raced and it's won. And what more can you do? Williams and Kolsch then, the Laidlow brothers, runners up. They'll be happy with that. And that will put a totally different complexion on the championship, with Blackstock and Lawrence, sadly, sliding further down the table. Wonderful stuff. So the two boys 20 and 24 years of age only. The younger one at the helm, and Jack in the passenger seat. Now here we have Rob Biggs and Frankie Muldoon. He's still demonstrating his skill.
And a little wave behind the back from Frankie there. Good lad.
He doesn't lack confidence, does he?
He doesn't.
And personality. You need all of those things.
Very, very happy for that team this weekend.
Yeah, me too. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. We move on to here, as I say, from here to Knock Hill. But Luke Williams, having looked down, has there been a problem? Did they nurse it home? Or is it going to fire up? It's going to fire up. He just took the lanyard off his wrist, and that is an automatic cutout. Should they part company, then it kills the engine. Well, we had a race, and it was a proper race. And we had 9 finishers today, but there it is confirmed. Williams, Kolsch, you saw that from the Laidlows. Biggs, Muldoon, that's the podium. Kirby and Bell, the battle of the Cup riders. Atkinson and Middleton, a good, healthy result for them. They kept it going this time, no gear. And Holden and Napton, hats off, Phil. Terrific stuff. Buddy, you stuck in there. Birchall, Wakely and Pottinger further down the order, as you see. But not quite sure how Birchall features in that result.
No, he's been on the timing tower the whole race, so a bit of a glitch there, I think, with the timing system.
There we have the overall standings. Now it's 21 points. They lead the Laidlow brothers. Blackstock now 40 behind in his quest for his first British Championship title. Bell still leading the Cup from Kirby. John Holden in there with Phil Napton. Respectable day's work. Biggs, Muldoon moving further up the order. Atkinson, Middleton, full Cup. Birchall and Rosney still terribly unlucky this weekend. Yet again. But Ben Birchall's a tough cookie. He will persevere. There you have it. Wonderful stuff. Williams and Kolsch, a study in perfection from that passenger. He doesn't always move like a sloth, but there you have it. Wonderful stuff.
You rode like a twat. 58 dead. Huh? 58 dead. That was slow as fuck.
Luke Williams delighted. Just loves the job his passenger did. Brimming with confidence. And this is going to be a very special podium for one young man in particular. And he laid low down there. Father.
Amazing. Welcome.
Luke Williams. Well, that's the closeness that you develop with sidecar racing. It becomes a brotherhood, it really does. There, Frankie Muldoon needs a trip to the barber, so he'll be off there in the morning.
I think by the time we get to Knock Hill, that will be a very different haircut on Frankie said. He's said to me multiple times this weekend, the hair's got to go. It is very warm this weekend.
Well, you shed some weight, that will help. And there, another man needing a haircut, Jack Laidlow. So it seems to be de rigueur. And poor Lewis Blackstock, Oscar Lawrence, that is a traditional way to bring a sidecar outfit home. You get pushed back by the recovery van. Be interested to know what happened with the transmission, but I promise you by the time we next talk to you from Knock Hill, we will have an answer and an explanation and a performance to envy, I'm sure, from Lewis Blackstock, because he will be hungry.
Oh yes, like you said, Barry, they're just going through the stands, 40 points behind Luke Williams, Kevin Kolsch now. That is a big gap to overcome, and Lewis is going to be keen, shall we say, to close that gap.
Well, podium then. Third place on the podium. Frankie Muldoon first up there.
Keen young man.
Waiting for his driver. There you have it. Look, absolutely stunning display for them. Sam and Jack Laidlow, very good progress they're making. They look to class act in that race. Nothing erratic, it was good. They're making very, very good progress. And now double winners, Luke Williams and Kevin Kolsch, adding 50 points this weekend to their total and gaining the series lead handsomely. Bit more silverware for Frankie's bedroom, or will it go on the sideboard in the house?
Not a bad moment there as well. Stuart Muldoon handing out the trophies and handing out a British Championship trophy to his son. What a moment for that man.
Nice one. Well done, boys. So that's the second sidecar race done and dusted here from Snetterton. We've got the traditional bubbly. One or two running for cover. Frankie doesn't want to get that hair wet. It will take him a week to wash it. That's it then, the bubbly, and okay then, away they went for 10 laps with Luke Williams from pole position. Birchall charging up the inside on the grass, already making up great. But laid low, and round goes Luke Williams. Rob Biggs looking pretty steady as well. Luke Williams making his way through to assume control at the front of the race. A massive crash when Ben Birchall got it wrong and went into John Holden. Phil Napton somehow managing to hang on, and they were to come back and get involved in the race. Lewis Blackstock and Oscar Lawrence were making up from 7th place on row 3, but they were making hay and moved past the Laidlows into 2nd place, and then had eyes for only one outfit, and that was the 91 in front of them. But it was not to be. There were 1 or 2 retirements. Andy Peach went in. Luke Williams at the front was momentarily threatened by Blackstock, but then it all came to nothing when mysteriously the 91 outfit just expired. It appeared to lose all drive, and Luke Williams was then home and dry. Having said that, banged in the fastest lap at 1:58.244. Didn't back off at all, and it was victory number 2 for the Williams-Kolsch outfit here in Snetterton. Maximum points, and what a show they gave. We move on from here to Knockhill. Hope you enjoyed that.